evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC with me, Almond. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. New COVID variant triggers worldwide alert with 2 cases in Hong Kong. Private home prices in Hong Kong have fallen for the 2nd straight month. And Beijing hits out after more U.S. lawmakers visit Taiwan. Health authorities are alarmed as Hong Kong recorded its first cases of the B11529 COVID variant. The mutant, which will likely be dubbed the new variant, has worried global health experts because of its large number of mutations. Winnie Wong reports.
The Center for Health Protection had an alarming announcement late last night. The newly discovered B11529 coronavirus variant has reached Hong Kong. The revelation came after experts analyzed the genome sequencing of 2 imported cases discovered earlier this week. A man who flew in from South Africa is being blamed for transmitting the virus to his quarantine neighbor in the next room at the Regal Airport Hotel. Microbiologist Professor Yun Kwok-Yung said the 36-year-old traveler wore a selfishly designed valve mask whenever he opened the door to retrieve meals or throw out rubbish, which could have led to the spreading of the virus. The B11529 variant is very new, and only around 100 cases have been confirmed around the world, with the earliest detected just 2 weeks ago. Most of them were concentrated in South Africa's Gauteng province. But it is raising alarms due to its high number of over 50 mutations, more than 30 of which are changes to the spike protein. That's about double the amount of mutations in the highly transmissible Delta variant, with global health experts using words like worrying, great concern, and even horrific to describe it. As a precaution, Britain has temporarily banned incoming flights from 6 African countries, including South Africa. Pretoria has warned that the variant will likely reach all over in the next few weeks as people move. But it remains unknown what the mutations mean. Whether they make the variant more or less transmissible, deadly, or vaccine resistant are all things scientists are still trying to figure out. Winnie Wong, HKIBC.
Government Health Advisor David Ho believes Hong Kong should follow Britain and halt flights from countries where the new variant has emerged.
I think the Hong Kong government should consider this, because we don't know how aggressive this new variant may be. Well, new variant will be merged with time in any place, okay? As long as the new variant has not spread into our community, it doesn't really affect the reopening of the border between Hong Kong and mainland China.
The chief executive says the government is proceeding at full speed to push for the reopening of the border with the mainland. But Carrie Lam remained tight-lipped on the details.
Less than 24 hours after Chief Secretary John Lee revealed that Hong Kong is ready to resume quarantine-free travel with the mainland, but offered little details, Chief Executive Carrie Lam reassured Hong Kongers work is in progress, though she stayed mum on the specifics.
So the next step is for us to do the preparatory work for the travel to resume. One is the health code, how we could provide a health code to the people who voluntarily want to use this health code to gain entry into the mainland of China. It's a technical issue, and we are quite ready. So the Innovation and Technology Bureau should be able to announce the details next week.
Lam didn't put a number to the daily quota system, but said she hopes to fight for as many as possible.
All these are preparatory issues that we will do as expeditiously as possible so that we are able to announce exact date for the resumption of travel.
A recent 4-day visit to the SAR by mainland health officials is believed to have cemented the reopening deal, as Hong Kong's anti-epidemic measures proved sufficient.
Hong Kong logged 4 new COVID infections today, all imported. They included 2 boys aged 9 and 11 who arrived from Singapore on Wednesday. The younger boy carried the L452R variant. The other two patients, both fully vaccinated, were from the Czech Republic and Finland. Now, prices for private homes in Hong Kong dropped for the second month in a row after peaking in August. But a property magnate thinks the downward trend is only temporary.
Private home prices have come down for 2 straight months from a record high in August. The latest figures by the Rating and Valuation Department showed the October price index slid 0.8% month on month. Medium to large flats had the biggest slump. Those between 753 and 1,075 square feet fell nearly 1.7%. Apartments smaller than 752 square feet dropped less than 1%. But home prices are still up by 3.5% compared to the same period last year.
一個咁小幅度嘅波動，冇乜趨向性嘅象徵意義嘅。
Property tycoon and Centerline chairman Shi Wing-ching played down the decline, saying small fluctuations aren't indicative. He added the small supply of private housing enables the high price to stick. She expects the resumption of quarantine-free travel with the mainland will give the property market a boost. Rental prices, meanwhile, broke a 7-month climbing trend, going down by 0.3% from September to October.
The first man jailed under the national security law will have his appeal hearing in March. Tong Yin-kit was driven to the High Court for today's direction hearing. His lawyer, Clive Grossman, said the trial judges had overlooked and misunderstood some important evidence. Grossman wants to go through the testimonies of some witnesses again, and some videos will be played. One of Tong's lawyers, Lawrence Lau, is reported to have been taken off the case by the Legal Aid Department and replaced by Stephen Kwan. Tong was jailed for 9 years for inciting secession and terrorism by steering his motorcycle bearing a protest banner into police on July 1st last year. Firefighters have rescued a wild boar that was stuck in the fence in North Point. The 50-kilogram animal was found trapped with an injured leg late last night. Vets from the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals put it under anesthesia, while firefighters cut the fence. After 2 hours, they were able to save the boar. It was taken to the SPCA headquarters in Wan Chai for a checkup before being transported to the Kaduri farm. Under a new government policy, wild boars found wandering in urban areas will be captured and put down. Beijing has urged Washington not to encourage Taiwan to undermine China following the second visit to the island this month by U.S. lawmakers. The delegation pledged to deepen cooperation with Taipei, which thanked Washington for its support. Sarah Wong reports.
Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen greeted a U.S. congressional delegation of 5 lawmakers from both sides of the aisle. California Democrat Mark Takano led his colleagues from the House of Representatives to Taipei after celebrating Thanksgiving with U.S. troops in South Korea. They discussed Taiwan-U.S. relations, the regional economy, and security during their one-day trip.
We are here in Taiwan this week to remind our partners and allies, after 2 trying years that we've endured, our commitments and our shared responsibility for a free and secure Indo-Pacific region remain stronger than ever.
The island's foreign ministry took to social media to thank the U.S., saying Taiwan-U.S. ties are undoubtedly solid. This is the second visit in less than a month by a U.S. congressional group to the island that China has vowed to reclaim by force if necessary. Beijing launched air patrols earlier this month after U.S. lawmakers from the House and Senate flew to Taipei on the military aircraft. The latest trip comes at the heels of President Joe Biden's invitation to Taiwan to join his democracy summit next month. In Beijing, the foreign ministry blasted some U.S. lawmakers for severely jeopardizing the One China principle and angering 1.4 billion Chinese. Spokesman Zhao Lijian urged Washington to drop the Taiwan card while warning the island not to rely on the U.S. to seek independence. Sarah Wang, HKIBC.
Beijing has condemned the violence that has gripped Chinatown in the Solomon Islands, but will not evacuate its nationals for now.
中国在所罗门群岛的店铺被暴徒
Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian pledged Beijing's support for the government of the Pacific Island nation to end the chaos that led to attacks on Chinese-owned shops. Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare accused foreign powers of instigating the violence to retaliate against his decision to recognize Beijing instead of Taipei. Australian police and defense forces have been deployed in the Solomons' capital, Honiara, at the invitation of the government to restore order. And coming up after the break. Regional markets tumble as new COVID variant unnerves investors.